Time out to the South of Buffalo. Newscast. A pleasure to welcome back Dr. Joe Morris from Mercier's Jew.
Sir, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate
my
that.
pleasure.
Talk to us a little bit about what you expect to see tomorrow night with President Trump addressing Congress.
Well, it's always a big night.
Yeah.
Technically, the State of the Union is for a president to kind of give a report on what he's done in the past year, but Donald Trump hasn't been in office a year.
Yeah.
So this will be a chance, I think, for him to lay out his plans and tell us where he's going. And we kind of know where he's going. He's off to quite a start in the last few months. But unfortunately for him, he is facing some headwinds. People's confidence in the economy is slowly but steadily declining. His approval rating is going down. He's had some foreign policy challenges. So there are some things that he's going to have to address. And I think he's more than likely to do that.
There's always a surprise with President Trump in these settings. So what's the surprise tomorrow night?
I don't know. My wife and I were just talking, and given Elon Musk's prominent position in his administration, we were talking about whether or not Elon Musk would be seated somewhere near the front where he could have a lot of camera time. Undoubtedly he will. I'd be surprised if he wasn't there. But I don't know what we're going to see tomorrow night. Donald Trump is a giant mystery. He always is. But one thing we can be absolutely certain about is that this is going to be a speech that's heavy on rhetoric, probably light on specifics of policy, but definitely heavy on rhetoric. That's what he thrives at.
Doctor, has Elon Musk's position in the administration sort of surprised you so far?
It has. It's simply unprecedented, and really the breadth of his responsibilities, even though he doesn't have any official responsibilities, the breadth of what he can do is just absolutely mind-boggling. We've seen tens of thousands of federal employees laid off, and probably even more in the coming months. And this is all under the auspices of Doge.
Now, Joe, we are also doing a story tonight at 11 about Russia and China designating disgruntled federal employees. That story came out today. What's your take on that?
Yeah, this is, it's ripe time to do that. We saw just last week, a few days ago, Donald Trump just give Zelensky a lashing in front of the world. And this is, in some ways, very surprising because the United States doesn't do that. We are diplomatic to our core, especially with people who we consider allies, people who govern democracies. But to say that this is any surprise, I think you had to have your head in the sand not to know something like this wasn't going to happen.
Doctor, do you think that the relationship between Ukraine and the United States can maybe be repaired at this point in time? You think that we'll see diplomacy between the two countries?
I don't think there will ever be a level of trust between the United States and Ukraine like we had for the last several years, but I think that's also true of Europe. We are set to put in place a series of tariffs that are going to be very challenging for Europe, the European Union, to overcome, and much of the Europe is part of the European Union is part of NATO. And that's something that's should be really concerning to all of us. This is the United States, the head of NATO, distancing itself from a treaty organization, a coalition that has dominated every decade since World War II.
Joe, thanks for stopping by. You're off to a big hockey game. Where is it?
Big
Good
hockey
luck.
game at
Yep,
Lecom.
to your son tonight,
yes.
sir.
Cathedral Prep is playing. The varsity team is playing for playoffs.
Playoff game tonight?
Absolutely.
We got to get
Good
you
luck.
out of here, Doctor. Yeah.
Enjoy the
Thanks
game.
so much.
Enjoy
All
the
right, well, we got to go to break. Dr. Joe Morris has got to go.